Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again for another Gospel of Two Wheels. This is number 44, broadcast live on our Facebook page. I edited them down here so it's not quite so long. In this one we talk about chains and sprockets. We talk about O-ring chains, non-O-ring chains, high-end sprockets, low-end sprockets, and everything in between. We definitely talk a little bit about rotella oil, like always. Guys make fun of my beard. They make fun of me. It's awesome. We have a great time. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know. If these videos are awesome to you, please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. Enjoy.
Dirt bikes!
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Morgan coming to you live from the Highland Cycle Studio for the Gospel of Two Wheels, number 44. Closing in on a year's worth of these things. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to be talking about chains and sprockets today. So super excited to talk about that. Guys, we ride every Thursday night during the summer. Every now and then I'll have a conflict or something like that. But generally every Thursday night, all summer long, while the time is on our side, daylight savings time, that is. And yeah, we'd love to have you guys out. Contact the shop. Send me a message here on Facebook. Shoot me a comment on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description for the YouTube if you want to sign up for our Thursday night email list. You'll get every week you'll get the description of where we're going, what we're doing, difficulty level, that kind of stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, we'll have that going. So last bit of news, Highland Cycles is officially applying for a permit to guide on BLM. That does not mean I'm going to stop doing free rides on Thursday nights and things like that. What it does mean is we're going to be able to offer some really cool stuff for people that want to come in from out of town and want to guide. Not everybody wants that, I get it, but some people do. The other thing that we're looking at offering, and I've been talking to CJ about this, is a kids summer camp, moto summer camp next year. Be on the lookout for that. That, as long as they give me a permit, which I'm pretty sure they will because we have a really good relationship with them, we're going to be offering probably like a week-long kids moto summer camp. So stay tuned for that. Really super excited about that. If you guys have questions, shoot them. Roger Hurd already said the first question in is O-ring or non-O-ring. For me, it's O-ring all the way, mainly because the life of the chain, right? So let's talk just a tiny bit about that if you don't know. So yeah, O-ring versus non-O-ring chain, guys. In my humble opinion, an off-road rider's got no business running a non-O-ring chain unless you just need a cheap chain to get you through for the weekend or whatever. Non-O-ring chains just don't last very long because they don't hold lube. The whole point of O-rings in a chain, I mean, really, honestly, the entire reason that chains have O-rings, some of them, is to hold the lube in the pins and on, where the chain pivots. So that's why they have them. Without that O-ring, the lube comes out pretty stinking fast. So for me, the only reason to run a non-O-ring chain is if you're racing moto or supercross or something like that, a kind of discipline where you're back in the pits like often and you're not out riding for all that long, because then you can lube the thing again and lube the thing again and lube the thing again. As far as O-ring versus X-ring versus Z-ring, Y-ring, I don't know what all the versions are out there right now. For me, the big difference there comes to drag. So a full O-ring chain, like where the little rubber parts are just circles, and if you cut them in, like if this is it and you cut it in half and looked at it, it's just a circle, they drag a little bit more. On a modern motorcycle, especially a 450 or something like that, I dare you to be able to tell me the difference in horsepower because they make so much now. But the X-ring chains, they definitely don't drag as much. They spin, if you put the bike up on a stand and take the wheel, with the chain on it and spin the wheel, an X-ring chain will spin a little bit more free. I don't know that they hold lube in any better, but generally the X-Ring chains are a nicer chain. Like the metal is a little bit nicer and higher quality, so they'll last a little bit longer for that. John Hatch says, O-ring, clean, proper tension lube. Your chain and sprockets will last a long time. Close to 2,500 miles on my Stalkers from a 500 XCW. So that is great information. First of all, John, you're absolutely right. Proper chain tension, proper lube is super duper key, right? So, but here's the deal. All the stuff that comes on newer KTM, like, and I mean, from newer, I'm going to say from like 09 and up, the stock stuff on that is absolutely the most high-end, nicest stuff you could make, especially the chain. Sprockets, you could argue I don't really like aluminum sprockets very much. I feel like they wear out way too fast, and the weight savings isn't great. I don't know. I could just eat less. I mean, look at me. I'm not like some skinny little rail. So, in fact, I'm the opposite of a skinny little rail. Ryan Overlander, I've been running my non-O-ring chain for 60 hours now, but I lube every ride. Fair enough. Ryan, which non-O-ring chain are you running? Matt Simpson, absolutely lube. Okay, lubrication is key, and your friend in all things. So I used to run a non-O-ring chain because I thought my YZ250, being a 252 stroke, was like a little bit low on power. So anyway, I ran the really good DID. It's a $100 non-O-ring chain, and it lasted pretty long. I'm not going to lie. It held up pretty well. But I can tell you that a good X-ring or O-ring chain that's lubed well lasts way longer. I mean, a non-O-ring chain might last pretty well if you take really good care of it, but the O-ring chain is just going to last longer. I mean, I don't think Brady Meter says way skinnier than me. Fair enough, but Brady, you're just a whole lot of man. Ryan Overlander says he runs the Pro Taper, but I'm also extremely nervous about it breaking. The Pro Taper, first of all, Pro Taper chains are great. We stock Pro Taper chains at the shop. We have both non-O-ring and the X-Ring Pro Taper chain. So I like Pro Taper chains a lot. I think they're a good opportunity. Brady, absolutely, that's what she said. I think Pro Taper chains are a great option for like the mid-level price because they're not super cheap, but they're not crazy expensive. Personally, my absolute favorite chain I've ever run is the DID VT2, which is now called something else. It's the chain that comes stock on all the KTMs. It's their narrow X-ring chain, and the X-rings are narrow, but then also the whole chain is narrow so that it clears the case without any issues. That chain lasts forever. Like, it's crazy. Actually, our KTM rental Daisy has the stock chain on it, and it's got like 115 hours on it. And honestly, it looks great. Like, it's ridiculous how stinking good that chain looks. So I'm a huge fan of DID chains. Their non-O-ring chain is phenomenal. Like I said, it's a $100 non-O-ring chain, but it's really good. It lasts a long time. If you're racing moto and you want all the tiniest horsepower out of your bike for starts and things like that, that's what I'd be running. So John Bowman, how much does the X-Ring chain usually cost? Good question. The Pro Taper X-Ring chain is $100. Like I said, great chain, holds up really well. Emily Raffaella, how's it going? The DID, super high-end DID X-Ring chain, the narrow one, is like $175, which is an awful lot of money for a chain. I'm not going to lie. But I can say that and this is like no joke. You put one of those on, a new set of sprockets, and usually you have to adjust it once, and then I seriously don't have to adjust that chain for, I don't know, probably 50 or 60 hours, maybe longer. I don't know, it's a long time before I have to adjust it. And usually it's only like a little adjustment, and then it's good. I've had those chains go 150, 175 hours, like a full season for me. So that's crazy. If you're like me, like I said, I usually get about 150 to 175 hours in a season if things are going well. That's like one chain. I don't have to mess with the chain. Like I generally don't adjust it much, and I just ride it. So to me that's worth the money because I like things I don't have to mess with. As you guys have learned by watching this show and all my posts on Facebook and things like that, I don't like fiddling with my motorcycle unless I'm, maintenance, things like that. But I like when I go ride it, I just want to go ride it. And so that's why I run mousses in the tires. That's why I run good coolant. That's why I run good oil. That's why I run really good chains and sprockets, because I just want to get on the thing and go, and I don't want to fiddle with it. So that's my situation. So Roger Hurd says, replace everything at the same time. Completely agree, with one exception. I'm going on to sprockets now. Rear sprockets, my absolute hands down personal favorite is the Dirt Tricks rear sprocket. Quick thing, Dirt Tricks is the same as Ironman. Ironman sprockets don't exist anymore because MSR, Malcolm Smith Racing, doesn't really exist anymore because they got sold when Tucker-Rocky was going bankrupt and all that stuff. So they don't have so they don't brand it Ironman anymore. It's just Dirt Trick sprockets. Those things are made out of some fancy space steel, and it's all laser cut in Nevada by space people, and they're the most durable sprocket I've ever seen in my entire life. And those I'll put a new chain on. It's the only rear sprocket I'll put a new chain. Chris Smith says buy Dirt Tricks and they look new forever. 100% agree. Dirt Tricks rear sprockets are crazy. I had one, no joke, I ran 3 years. So if let's say I average 150 hours a year, do the math, man. That's crazy amount of hours. And all I did was every year I put a new chain on it and a new front sprocket. So Dirt Tricks front sprockets are not nearly as good as their rear sprockets. That might make people sad, but Matt Simpson says rotella on your chain. You know what? Why not? I'll put rotella on everything. I shower in rotella. Oh, I love you guys. Roy Moline, Dirt Tricks is awesome, but got 3,000 miles out of a Super Sprox dual. Right on. So the Super Sprox dual ring, those are great. I like the idea a lot. My biggest problem, excuse me, it's coffee. I fortunately was not up at 4:30 this morning. That was lovely. I got to sleep in for whatever reason. The dual ring sprocket thing is a really cool idea because you get the aluminum middle, so it's light, and there's steel outer, so it holds up good. But I have seen those come apart. Chime in if you've ever seen one of those come apart. That ruins your day. Matt Simpson, absolutely. I run rotella on my salad. That's how I stay so skinny. Then I just don't eat the salad. Tori Anderson says rotella is delicious on toast. I love this show because somehow or another we always get to rotella. That's awesome. So if you guys, hey, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube later, subscribe to the Dumb channel. I'm working on more instructional videos. I'm actually going to be doing a video of the top end, when I do the top end on Daisy here real soon. That will hopefully prove me right on a whole bunch of stuff on the jetting, on the two-stroke oil, the ratio I use, all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be on YouTube. Obviously, there'll be a link here on Facebook to it. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'll put a link in the description to Dirt Tricks to see their stuff. It's like their sprockets are awesome. They make now ones that are like different colored and black and all that stuff. But they're amazing. And yeah, I love those things. They last forever. Here's one, I'm going to give one problem with Dirt Tricks sprockets. And it's probably any sprocket, but I've had it happen to me and to another friend/customer. Jeremy Jones had this happen in a race. So if you ride a Yamaha, like I do sometimes, one of the problems Yamahas have is the chain guide is the thing that holds the chain guide is welded to the swing arm, and they break off if you hit rocks. So that's one of the very few downers to Yamahas is those things do break off if you ride in the rocks a lot and you bang them. And if you snap that off, I had this happen. I was at a pretty decent pace. That thing snapped off. It went back into the sprocket. It clearly didn't have anywhere to go when it hit the sprocket because there's not enough slack in the chain, which is good. That means I had my chain tension correct. When it did, though, first of all, it stopped the tire, and I almost went over the bars. And then also it bent that dirt trick sprocket. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you're on the trail with like little hand tools, there is no way, no how of bending that sprocket back into shape so you can continue down the road or trail. I had to get towed out. It's the only time in my entire life I've been towed out. It made me super duper embarrassed, and I felt sad for everybody. I felt bad. TM Designs chain guide and a bulletproof chain guide guard. Problem solved. Absolutely. Brady, 100%. So I do run a TM chain guide for sure. Back when mine broke off, I didn't know about the bulletproof chain guards. And I don't know actually if they had that bracket for Yamahas when that happened. It's quite a while ago when that happened. Now they do, and now there's one on my 450. There we go. Everybody's chiming in with the bulletproof swing arm guard. Yes, Nate Scott. I hope you're still watching. You guys are the best. Bulletproof Designs, hands down the best. Hands down the best company. Way better than me. Way better than most people because Nate is awesome. He's also super attractive, and he flies an airplane. He's not available. Joe Torres, I've learned a lot of stuff from. Hey, Joe Torres says he's learned a lot of stuff from these videos. Awesome, Joe. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you are enjoying this. Guys, give me a thumbs up if you like this stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button or the like thummy uppy thing. Subscribe again. Sorry, I keep mentioning that. But on Facebook, share this thing. I think you can share like while you're watching. You hit the little share button. Thank you guys so much. If you guys like these videos, yeah, give me a thumbs up here, man. I really appreciate it. It means a ton to me. That you guys are watching and paying attention. It means a ton that you're giving me a hard time about my beard and all the other things. Chains and sprockets, in my opinion, O-ring, hands down. Okay, let me back up. Well, not back up. Let me say something. Please, please, please don't buy a super duper cheap chain and sprocket setup. It will make your day / weekend / vacation absolutely terrible. Okay, I have seen people spend $12 to $25 on a chain and then some super duper cheap sprocket. Anyway, whatever, and they break or they kink up. They do all kinds of things. It's not worth it. You don't have to spend $170 on a chain, and you don't have to spend $110 on a rear sprocket. So, in my opinion, Highland Cycle's opinion, the hands down best chain sprocket setup is the narrow X-ring DID chain, which used to be called the VT2. Now it's like the ERV something. They changed it just this year, and I haven't learned it. We stock it at the shop. It's about 175 bucks. Dirt Tricks rear sprocket, it's about 110 bucks. And then a Sunstar front sprocket, they're about 25 bucks for most bikes. That setup right there, I'm telling you right now, guarantee 100%, no matter what you ride in, mud, sand, whatever, if you take halfway decent care of it, is good for a solid 150 hours, no problems. I mean, I absolutely believe that 100%. The best budget setup is Sunstar front sprocket, Sunstar rear steel sprocket. They're like 45 to 50 bucks, whichever one you get, and they're good and they last a long time. They're a little heavy, but so am I. And then Pro Taper X-ring chain, 100 bucks. So that you're into that for the whole thing is about 175 bucks, and you've got a great setup. If the Pro Taper chain scares you off and it's a little too much money, I get it. I actually really like the Bike Master X-ring chain. I think they're like 70 bucks, 60, 70 bucks, and they seem to be doing well and not kinking up. They do need to be adjusted a little bit more, but they're good. So there's my opinion on those things. I want to get that out there. Brady Meter says, yep, was trying some SRT O-ring chains and had 2 of them break on me. Yeah, they're junk, dude. Junk. Okay, yeah, Spencer Sutton, Regina for Rhino Racing. Dude, Regina chains are phenomenal. Yeah, I ran them. I ran a Regina in Baja when I sold it. The thing was great. Never had a problem. So, yeah, Regina chains are great. I'm a DID guy. I'm guessing I don't know. Which one is your exact setup? Oh, here we go, Richard Dawson. Master Link versus Press Link. Great question. So what Richard is talking about, if you don't know, is there's 2. Actually, Richard, technically they're both Master Links, right? There's 2 versions of Master Links. One is a clip link and one is a rivet link. The clip link is what you're probably most used to seeing. It's going to be a link where you've got the 2 pins that come through, another plate that comes on, and then you have a clip that goes on. First and foremost, if you use that kind of link, make sure you put the clip on in the correct direction, which is as the chain is going towards the motor, right? So as you're on the gas, chain's going towards the motor, you want the clip like this. So if this is the chain coming across, I'm trying to like that way. I'm with the camera, it's weird. Anyway, you want the clip so the back end is facing backwards towards the wheel when the chain's when it's on the top, right? And that's so that as it goes through the chain guide or anything else, it can't hit and come off. The other version is a rivet link, and for those, you push them together. So same thing. Link comes through, plate goes on, but then the 2 pins have little divots in them, and you pin those over. You press them and they hold in. As to which one I like, I like clip links. Honestly, I've never had a problem with a clip link on a really good chain. As long as you install the clip in the right direction and all that stuff. They do get worn, especially if the chain guide bends a little bit or rubs on it a little bit. But I've never really had a problem with clip link chains. If I were going to race the Baja 1000 again, I would run a rivet link chain so that there is just 0 chance of anything coming apart. So the problem with a rivet link chain is obviously it's a little bit harder to take apart if you need to take it apart for any reason. Carry a spare, absolutely. Silicone on the clip so it won't come off. Brady Metter, that is a great, a really, really, really good tip. So Brady Metter wins the internet today with the best tip. Silicone the clip on so it won't come off. Awesome idea. Although I've never had one come off, but that's a great idea especially if you're doing a big race. Roger Hurd says we ran a rivet at the 2010 1000. Absolutely. If you're racing the Baja 1000, you should be running a rivet link chain. Yeah, it's too hard of a race, too long of a race to be taking a chance with a clip, even with silicone on it. All right, guys, I got a boogie because it's 8:03 and I got lots of stuff to do, lots of things get done at the shop. We have a ton of work. Punk Rock Club, thank you so much for sticking around. Shoot us the horns if you're here to the end. Really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your comments. It means an absolute ton to me that you guys watch and comment and all those things. Like and share this thing. It means a lot if you do. Helps us out a ton. And guys, spread positivity and happiness today, man. Life's too short to be negative. It's your choice. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. And make sure you get out, spread the gospel of 2 wheels, and absolutely 100%, no matter what, I want to make sure you get out and ride your dirt bikes.